What is up?
How's it going?
Hi.
The COVID did not get us. I swear.
It almost did. It almost did us in.
No, we're still here.
We're still here. We haven't done a broadcast now in, what, Daniel? Over a year?
Over a year.
Things happened. Mistakes were made.
Oh, man. And it's just been so busy for all of us.
For everybody. Nobody succumbed to the COVID, but we've all had a pretty rough year, actually. This has been kind of the first break we've had in a little while, and we're coming to you today from the beautiful, very cold, very rainy Red Bank, New Jersey, also known as Geek Mecca for Kevin Smith fans. How was y'all's last year or so gone?
Work's been crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy.
After we bought the business, I mean, it's been nonstop. It's been overwhelming in the greatest ways. But this is actually the first time that we've closed the shop and left out of town. And so I've only checked my emails 500 times. But What about your year? So I know you've had a lot going on. For sure.
My year has been hectic. As some of you know, most of you probably don't on the Facebook page. Last year in March, I started a school for work, which was 400 hours. So for 5 months, I spent 2 weeks out of every month in Fort Lauderdale going to this class. And during the third month of that, so May, actually 2 days from today, my wife was diagnosed with fairly advanced colon cancer. And so I've spent most of the last year working and trying to help her with the housework and the kids and doctor's appointments and all that. I am quite happy to report that her treatment is almost completely over. She has a scan in June. If that scan comes back all good, then she just has checkups every 6 months. But it's been a lot of hospital visits and surgeries and all that. And like a moron, in the middle of all that, I went back to college. So I'm graduating this summer with my associates, but that's really a combination of y'all buying the business and...
I mean, y'all running y'all's business, too.
Yeah.
We're still in the middle of it.
So a combination of all of that stuff happening at once has kind of kept us away from the mic for a little while. But we ended up making the pilgrimage here, and big thanks to our friend Ming for coming out and letting us get in the studio for a little bit this morning. It's been an awesome trip so far.
It's been really incredible.
It's been this is the first time I've ever done anything like this. I feel like I guess I should introduce myself. I am not Two Key Geeks. Hello, I am Daniel's partner, Carrie. And then they stuck me in the middle, so I thought I was gonna be a little off to the edge.
A side character?
Yeah,
no.
Like a NPC.
No NPCs.
Stuck over there. But hi.
No NPCs here. Everybody has to get involved. You actually probably saved Ming having to do this with us, so I appreciate being able to sit over there and run the boards today, especially after a late night last night. So we haven't been to a ton of conventions lately. That's usually what we talk about is conventions we've been to, what's been going on, and it really kind of hasn't happened. What's the last one we went to, Daniel?
Spooky?
Tiny spooky?
Little spooky.
Little spooky.
Little spooky.
Slightly spooky.
Yeah. And it was pretty good. We're starting to see a lot of the vendors that we saw prior to COVID coming back, and they've had time to really work on their art. I am a huge fan of the Artist Alley. That's where I'm headed. They're heading to the autograph lines. I can send the boys to get what I need signed, and I'm going straight for Artist Alley. And I am a huge collector of small batch art and collectibles and things like that, and so it's really exciting. Now I'm starting to see some of the vendors come back, and it's been great. We actually found one that we lost prior to COVID.
Yes.
We lost his business card, and then we found him randomly again at last Spooky. So, and he hadn't been to the couple previous to that, so that's been very exciting.
Yeah, the COVID shutdowns were really, really hard on all of the convention scenes. As you know, Ming, you basically live in that scene, and it was tough there for a couple of years.
It stunk.
Yeah.
Not being able to leave New Jersey. Although a lot of people were like, "Oh man, this must be killing you," and while it was, it felt a little better since like nobody could go. Like if everyone was still out there and I couldn't go, it would kill me. But since nobody could go, I was like, well, what am I gonna do? So And they tried these virtual conventions, and they were not the same whatsoever. It was good. It's good to be back out there, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's absolutely great. We recorded a couple episodes with you and Mike while we were gone. While everything was shut down, there was nothing going on. We weren't able to do too much. It was really a weird time, but now it seems like stuff's going back. You've been extremely busy with cons this year. You've done multiple, right?
I think I've done 10 already. So where did I start out? I was at whatever, Fan Expo New Orleans, and then where? Geez, yeah, I've been all over the place. I got to moderate panels at Star Trek Missions Chicago. That was cool. Did a couple smaller shows. Did one in northern Indiana, which featured a tour of a superhero museum that they have in Elkhart, Indiana. Planet Comic Con, Kansas City. Put that on your list, my friends. That one is quietly one of the best conventions out there. So it should be getting like San Diego like attention, in my opinion, or New York or whatever. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. I literally think I've been to 10 shows already, and I've got maybe 10 or 15 more lined up for the rest of the year, and then more will pop up. So
Absolutely.
It's gonna be a good year. It's gonna be a good year.
No,
Pretty
that's
fun.
awesome. It's good that it's coming back. I don't know how this works, but I managed to go 2.5 years. I work in law enforcement. I deal with people every day, people I have no choice but to deal with, and then no COVID. I managed to get through the whole thing, no COVID, all good, never got it. And then 2.5, 3 weeks ago, the wife and I go out of town. It was actually like a staycation, like 40 miles from our house for the weekend. And she has surgery on a Monday. On Tuesday, we both have COVID. So we've long passed all our quarantines and all that stupid stuff. Everybody's negative, but it was rough. For those of you who've had it and fought through it, it's not any fun. It didn't get me, even though it tried, but it was not a pleasant experience. And
while he had COVID, we both had sinus infections. So
Yeah,
you get my most nasally.
yes, everybody is still coffee. And then we come up here to Jersey this weekend. We left the house on Friday. It was 90. Got here and it was like 47 and raining.
I don't own a jacket.
No.
I bought this one at the stash. It's been crazy.
Yeah, we ended up, this was kind of a last minute thing for us. Daniel and I, well, actually all three of us, were supposed to be going to MegaCon in 2 weeks in Orlando. And I'm still going, and I'm going to convince Daniel to go in the next couple of weeks. But Carrie realized that she double booked herself that weekend.
And Daniel felt sorry for me, and that's how we ended up in New Jersey. So it was very last minute. I mean, I have been planning these both trips simultaneously for the past 6 months, and it never crossed my mind that they were the exact same weekend. Didn't matter how many flights or hotels I booked.
It never crossed your mind.
No.
So we saw that the Secret Stash was having the 25th anniversary. I've known Ming now since, like 2014, Florida SuperCon?
Florida SuperCon, and when it was done in Miami.
At the beach, right?
At the Miami Beach, at
Yeah.
that convention center.
I worked your table then, and we've known each other ever since then. We've done some podcasting since then, some other convention stuff. But
yeah, that was a funny story, which I'll tell real quick. I came out with Brian Johnson. I can't remember why Mike didn't make it that year, but we had a guy that we were assigned, and he guy was a little chatty, and Brian had him removed from our table, and we had Ben switched over, and luckily fate.
yeah,
Fate,
absolutely.
and Brian loved you, so that was, and Brian doesn't like anybody, as you guys know him, so that was a big plus.
Yeah, and I mean, for the whole one day that he was there, he was,
Yeah.
The second day, not so much.
Yeah, that was a 4-day con. It started Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday and the July 4th weekend, I think. And
Yeah.
then Brian had an unfortunate mixture of sushi and Jägermeister,
Yeah.
and
And Ambien, I think.
and Ambien. That's right. Yeah, he told this story about he was all looped up on Ambien, and he thought witches were in his closet. Like,
Oh my!
and he didn't realize this until he checked his text the next morning, and he texted his girlfriend. And he was like, "Help! There are witches in my closet." She's like, "Brian, are you all right?" And yeah.
Yeah, it was an interesting time, but
Yeah.
it was great. We had a really good time. I was there Saturday and Sunday, and we had table next to Nichelle Nichols that weekend, who was just absolutely wonderful. It was a great weekend, but from there, we started our podcast a couple of years ago, and we haven't done much with it, but
No, we had grand intentions.
we had grand intentions, but
There's still time. We can make it happen.
I think the best part was I got to see your setups. So in the background,
Yeah.
you have just
yeah.
action figures of like that would make any geek jealous. And just collectibles. So, and then if you look around here where you're, we're definitely
It's
definitely
insane.
we're definitely friends. So yeah.
kindred spirits here, kindred spirits. But yeah, we were supposed to go to MegaCon, and of course Carrie double booked herself, and I saw that the Stash was having this event, and I had been telling Ming we were going to come up here forever, and it's always either I'm busy, he's busy, there's something going on, and I said the Stash's anniversary would be a great reason. So I looked at flights, and we were able to come up on the Greyhound of the Skies, Spirit Airlines, with our backpacks and our pockets stuffed full of clothing and toiletries, and it was $30 to fly up here. So never mind that we spent like $350 on Ubers getting around, but it was cheap, and
we like to learn lessons the hard way. I mean, like how
They always get you somehow.
yeah,
The house always wins.
Yeah.
so.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. It's been so much fun.
I just love Spirit. It's like, did you pack your own seatbelt? Okay, great.
Yeah.
You good? You're on oxygen? Okay, great. All right, well, see you on the other end,
Yeah,
hopefully.
you may have best of may the odds be ever in your favor.
That was the first time I'd ever flown Spirit, so like I've only ever heard horror stories, so I'm like sweating bullets and I'm like super nervous, but
It's not that bad. It'll get
it
you
was
there,
not
right?
that
And
bad.
yeah,
It
it's
was
not that bad. Like, I've been on like a real Greyhound. Like, that's not awesome, but sometimes you just need to get there. And so it gets you there, hopefully. So
yeah, 2.5 hour direct flight, no stops, no transfers. It's not. I can deal with anything for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
yeah, I always tell people, like, at least you ever heard of the Feng Hua bus? There used to be a Chinese bus service that would go between like DC and New York City, and it was like $5, and it was ridiculously cheap, and it was a Chinese company. It was called the Feng Hua bus, but these guys would drive like 100 miles an hour. Like, you would get from DC to New York in like 2 hours. Like, how?
We have a shuttle out of the Keys. I rode it one time up to the airport, and like those. It's not like the full construction cones, but it's like the sticks that they stick up so you can't get it. I mean, he was like, I can't get over, and he barreled them all down. And I was in this shuttle, and I was like, you know what? I'll park. I'll just pay for the airport parking. Like, it's fine. I'll use Spot Hero. Like, I know.
Yeah, I admire that. But the Chinese bus company got shut down. Like, one of their buses burst into flames spontaneously, and then I think the other one, like, they're just like tons of safety violations.
like 300 people on one bus.
Yeah, but like, hey, again, it gets you there though.
Yeah.
And
Well, like for $5, you can't sue for that.
Yeah.
You knew what you were getting into.
You accepted the risks when you paid that low.
You know what you got into, yeah.
Yeah.
And do you need to get to New York or not? All right, get on then.
Yeah.
All right, I'll get you there.
No, it's good though. We flew up, we got in, we missed our train by 5 minutes to come to Red Bank, so we had to wait an hour for the next one. And
I asked a random lady on the platform if she knew how to read the schedule. Like, I'll
Never
talk
rode
to
a train.
anybody. No, from Louisiana and then moving down into the islands. Like, I mean, no. You throw your pennies on the train track and get them squished, and that's the far extent that I ever had an interaction with the train. So,
yeah,
that's
we're
interesting.
our public transit in the Keys, the railroad went away with the Labor Day hurricane in 1935. So it's been a minute since you could take the train down to South Florida.
We missed that one by a long shot. So,
But we got here, we managed. So the event yesterday, we showed up. What time, Daniel? You think?
1:30.
Yeah, about 1:30. Yeah,
Yeah,
right at.
it was piss and rain a little bit, and it's crazy though because we're 1,300 miles. Carrie, you looked it up. 1,350 miles from home.
Like 18, 13. Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
and there's people in line with us at the Stash that I've seen at cons before.
Yep.
That was one of the things I made a comment on. I mean, this is the first time I've ever been to anything like this. We talk a little bit in our podcast in another episode about me not having seen or been or exposed or done anything ever in my entire life, basically. They make fun of me for it. But so this is the first time that I had ever done this. And, I made that comment. I was like, this is these people are like a family, and I love that. And like they're doing the Q&A last night, and they're calling people by name, and like how amazing is that like they have created such a tight knit opportunity for people to come together. And like it is 40 degrees and sleeting, and we're all out there and we're like, yeah, do you need a sweater? I have an extra. Like, you know, like we're having a great time. We can't wait to get inside. It was
a lot of fun.
Yeah,
The line, talking to everybody in the line was really a big part of it.
for sure.
Hearing everybody's stories.
How far people came. There were people that drove, 15 hours. They came to the event and then they were driving home afterwards. Crazy stuff. But it ended up being, the tickets to the event were like $200. I knew, being Kevin Smith's fandom, that it was going to be worth every penny. But I didn't have any idea it was going to be as great as it was. I mean, it was really...
Oh, it was a real experience.
Yeah, I mean,
for sure.
I've spent way more money on stuff that was infinitely more disappointing. Like, this was incredible. There was actually way more interaction and way more time with everybody than I expected whatsoever. I mean, we were only here for a day and a half, 2 days, and it was great. We showed up. The line maybe was half a block long, something like that for our time, which was 2 o'clock. Ming had told us they were running a little bit behind, but they did a good job of catching it up. Mike let us in the store. We were able to do a little bit of shopping. Carrie got a sweater so that she didn't freeze to death outside. And once we got in, everybody's getting handshakes and hugs from Kevin, which is, pretty typical Kevin.
That was awesome, though.
But incredible. I knew, just because of having been involved in this fandom for a long time, that it was going to be great, but it was really great. I mean, what was y'all's take on how everything went?
I was blown away. Like, I really was. I didn't know what to expect. I've never done any of these like meet and greet kind of things before, and it was really incredible. They made, for $200, that was some of the best value for money I've ever spent.
Well, Kevin Smith is meeting you at the front door of the stash, shaking your hand. He's not in the back drinking his coffee before everybody walks in. Jason Mewes has been running around. I've seen him in and out for the past hour, just being him, being Jay. For $200 for him to welcome me in like that, that's
it's
a
really
great,
cool.
Yeah, like
it
that
felt real personable.
Yeah, it was very personal, and that meant a lot for sure.
Absolutely. So we went to the event. We got there around 2. What did we do Friday night? We just ate pizza and went to the hotel.
Yeah, we went to Mr. Pizza Slice. Is that?
It's the Breakfast of Champions, my friend. Yeah, that's that's where Walt would go every day. Even when we shot Comic Book Man. The one thing I miss about the show not being on anymore is they would bring you lunch every day.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what do you want for lunch? And it was like the toughest decision of the day. It's like, well, what do I want? But Walt had it easy. It was like two slices and a Coke from Mr. Pizza Slice. So
That was good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Good old Jersey pizza, man. They don't make it like that down in the Keys. So
No,
no. It's hard to find any good pizza.
It is. We had actually seen you and the guys from 3 Alarm Comics were eating pizza somewhere on Facebook. Somebody on that post asked where was good place to grab pizza, and CJ Cullen actually answered and recommended Mr. Pizza Slice. So we rode over there, grabbed us a whole pie and ate, and then went and got checked into our hotel. We stayed out in Colts Neck at this really old hotel, the Colts Neck Inn. It was really kitschy and cool. Very old building, window air conditioners and squeaky floors with the people upstairs walking around, but a lot of personality. They have like a parlor room with board games you could play and a TV and DVD player and stuff, and bikes you can use, even though it was way too cold to do any of that crap. But super nice place, was really reasonable. So a little bit out of town, but it was comfortable, not expensive.
You didn't run into Bruce Springsteen? He's got a joint out there. He's got a house out there. You didn't run into him?
No, we didn't run into the boss while we were out there at all. But it's a nice area. It's crazy to me how you can go from Red Bank, which is like on the water, downtown, urban, and then 8 minutes later you're in like horse farms and fields, and apparently where, what Carrie said, all the Christmas trees in the United States must be grown.
Y'all, they're all there. If you're looking for them, they're in Colts Neck, New Jersey. That's where they all come from.
So we stayed in our room. Yesterday we got up, and I think we had intentions of like coming downtown, doing some things, and we
That
just
did not happen.
no, we just slept
I
and
slept
like
till noon.
napped until like lunchtime, and then we got up and came down to the stash. We waited, went in, did a little shopping, then we had to go back out to get our lanyards and stuff, and once we got all that situated, we got in. The event was probably, what do y'all think, like an hour maybe?
Yeah.
Quite a little.
Yeah, an hour. The only thing is and Ming reminded me of this, and it should have hit my head, but the announcements for the event said there will absolutely be no pictures, no autographs, nothing. You're going to go in the store, take your picture, and then bounce. And that was not the case at all. It was like a hangout session. They got all the pictures taken in like 6 minutes.
It was like flying.
And then after the pictures, everybody just hung out and shot the shit for a little while. It was quite a lot of signing and stuff going on. So I did not bring my crap with me because of the announcement. So, but I'm going to see everybody again at MegaCon in 2 weeks, so it's not a big deal. Be supportive there too. So,
Yeah, I was hearing stories. So those are very like all bold caps, like no selfies, like
Yeah.
do not, no extra autographs. But I heard everyone got in there, and Kevin was like, "All right, you got your phone? All right, let's take a selfie."
Yep.
Like what? Yeah, which it's Kevin.
yeah.
You know, the rules are there are no rules. Even if there are rules, there are no rules. But I was dying as I heard Mike was like had to be like the the person like no selfies, but Kevin just said we could take selfies. Like, oh well, there's nothing you can do then. So
Yep.
yeah.
Mike
tell
and
him no?
I can't remember the guy's
Felt
name
bad
that was,
for him.
that was doing the photography, but both of them are running around telling people no selfies as Kevin is literally taking selfies like with a line of people.
Yeah.
And he's just not paying any attention to them. I was like, well, it's kind of hard to tell the man that started all of this that he can't take selfies. He's kind of the boss around here.
It happens every time too. It's like, so if you've been to multiple events, like, all right, bring a pile of stuff, and you're getting the selfie because that's just how it's gonna work. So
Daniel and I had stepped off to the side, and Jeff walked up to us and started talking, and I'm like, okay, and then like Kevin Smith's like, yeah, selfies, and like they're yelling over here, no selfie, and I was like, Kevin's taking selfie, like, can we take a selfie? And he was like, yeah, of course. So I mean, it was
always get the selfie.
Yeah, and he like stood and talked to us for forever.
Oh, for a minute,
for at least probably like 10 or 15 minutes. It was great.
I'm glad to see, because for the longest time, and I was going to ask the question in the Q&A last night. For the longest time, Jeff and Trevor and all those guys that were here this weekend, they didn't come out and do this kind of stuff. Like, Jeff was very much not involved in like the convention scene and all that stuff. You got Kevin, you got Brian, you got Marilyn all the time. They were always there. Scott in a more limited radius. But Jeff didn't really do that much, and I don't know what the catalyst was that brought him back into that scene, but he and Trevor especially in the last year or two have started showing up a lot more, and it's awesome.
And it was great to see Trevor in the Q&A last night.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
The Q&A was great.
It was so good.
Yeah, so after we did the event at the stash, we went and ate at Junior's, which Ming told us was stoner food.
Oh man, it was great. That place was awesome though.
Yeah, Junior's is you get like 4 mini hamburgers and a bunch of fries for like $3. It's like it's where you go when you've smoked up. You're like, oh man, I gotta eat something. I don't care how bad it is, and I don't care what it costs. But yeah, that's Junior's. So
Yeah, no, it was good
great.
though. Yeah,
It
we
was
got
really
some tater tots and cheese and some little burgers. It was good.
Daniel got the spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah, and then we took another lift, one of about 73 we took this weekend. We went out and met you and the guys from 3 Alarm at Source Brewery.
Oh, and
Yeah, that was fun.
they were great. The blueberry milkshake. I mean, I like the mango sticky rice, but the blueberry milkshake was amazing.
it's, in my opinion, one of the best breweries in New Jersey, if not the nation. And we happened to be across the street from your hotel, basically. So I was
It
like,
was right
"Hey,
there.
Yeah.
Hey, come hang out." So yeah. Only the best for you guys.
Yeah, I couldn't convince them to walk back to the hotel when we left there, but
It was raining in a hill, so
yeah, we don't have hills in the island, so nobody
pretty
was
flat.
really stoked about going up the hill. So
The brewery was great though.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I don't drink beer, and I like that blueberry. That was really good.
I love beer, and so it was right up my alley. The cinnamon, there was a cinnamon roll one as well. It was pretty good. It was a stout. I'm not as big of a fan of stouts, but it was good.
so we did that, and then we went back to the room for about 5 minutes. Since we were in New Jersey, we had to make the pilgrimage to the Quick Stop, which is quite a bit different than it was, I guess, almost 30 years ago.
I, guess
I was
didn't
really
realize it was
surprised.
open.
Oh yeah, it's still a functioning
Yeah,
store.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
it's the store hasn't changed at all.
No,
It's
The
same
neighborhood around it has, like
Yes.
size. You can
there's
see in the movie like the differences.
how much it's changed.
Yeah.
I was really surprised.
yeah, everything's grown up around it, and if it weren't for Kevin and the people who want to keep it the way it is, I'm sure it would have been bulldozed and turned into a townhouse or a
More than
Starbucks or
likely.
something by now. But it's very much the same store. We did not put gum in the locks while we were there, but it was great to go there, take a few pictures, and then, of course, Daniel forgot his lanyard that you need to get into the event.
Very apropos.
Yeah, so I took an Uber to the theater where I promptly waited out in the freezing rain and cold for about an hour plus. The line when I got there was 3/4 of a block long. They rode in nice cushy Ubers to the hotel, got Daniel's lanyard, and came in right before the show started into the seats that I saved for him. So I think they actually got the better end of that deal.
Yeah, we did. Like 7 rows back, and Ben's like, I stood out there for 30 minutes.
Yeah, it was a little brisk out. I have to say it wasn't the best, but we managed. The theater opened up, and the Q&A was actually split into like 3 chunks.
Mhm.
And I really liked how Kevin did it because he broke it up into groups. So
I
you
like
had
that too.
you
Yeah.
had the core group. The first group was Scott, Marilyn, Brian, and who else?
Scott. No, you said Scott.
Jeff. No.
Jeff.
Yep.
Yeah, Jeff was with
Yep.
them. So it was basically the core group from Clerks. And then the second group was Ernie and Kevin's friends that really kind of inspired all these stories and movies. And then the last group was Jen, Trevor, and who was with them?
Jay.
Jay, yes.
Mhm.
And it was neat to break it up. And I have to agree with Kevin because if it had been one giant stage with all of them sitting there and Kevin talking, Kevin probably would have taken it over
Yeah, you would have.
without any doubt. And it would have gone for probably 11 and a half hours.
I was ready.
It's part of the course, though.
I was
Yeah.
I was completely prepared for that and looking forward to it. But the way they did it was fair. It gave everybody a reasonable amount of time to ask their questions, to hang out. So it was super cool to see how that worked out, and the questions people had. Some of them were really interesting. I got to see a side of quite a few of the people that we have watched for years and seen at conventions, and somewhat know, whether on a personal level or just through social media or whatever. It was very neat to see. Scott, what's going on, man? I've been neglecting the comments section here. We've got Raymond, Bill, Scott. We've got plenty of comments. We've been terrible at keeping up with them, but it's been really good. I was super stoked to come and be able to book some time with Ming today and hang out.
I mean, it's really like a dream come true. I mean, we've been fans of this movie and this universe since it came out. Since
I'm
it
a
started.
baby fan.
Well,
Yeah, you
But
came.
I got in and got real hardcore real fast.
You came into everything late. You came.
I did.
You basically grew up like Amish.
All but I watched Disney movies growing up. My parents had I watched Disney movies, but where I think the big difference is like there's stories of y'all and your mom, Miss Kay. Happy Mother's Day, and Happy Mother's Day to my mom. Happy Mother's Day to everybody.
Yes.
And Kathy. But she watched movies with y'all, and like I love my parents, and I'm not saying anything bad, but we were not a family of movie watchers, and so whereas y'all were exposed to more pop culture, you know, I watched Bambi and Cinderella in my room, and like that's fine, it's background noise, but there was never any like watching movies together, so I was never exposed to anything before I met Daniel. And I mean, like, he introduced me to everything, and my whole world exploded. So he's got to really like go on that journey with me, and so it's been really fun. And
It's
you know,
been like it's like getting to relive it all over again.
Yeah,
from
and-
fresh eyes too. Seeing it from somebody's perspective that's never seen Star Wars or never seen
and
Ghostbusters.
now I'm like fully committed. You know, like,
it was really it was really getting to like relive my childhood again.
It's almost the equivalent of being able to show it to your kids. You know?
Yes, almost, yeah, very similar.
Yeah.
Very similar to that, and
It's been a lot of fun.
it
And-
has.
You know, especially when we watch something and it changes your life.
I mean, the whole View Askew, and I kind of got choked up yesterday talking to Jeff about it, and I was like, you know, Daniel begged me for months when we first started dating to watch Clerks, and I was like, I'm not watching the stupid black and white movie. I'm not doing that, you know. I bucked at it, and like one day it was like raining and stormy, and I was like, you know what, let's watch Clerks, and I watched it, and I was like, okay, I love this. And then immediately I was like, we have to watch Clerks 2. And so we watched Clerks 2, and then Clerks 2 built so much on the original Clerks that like it really changed my entire life and like how I watched movies and like watched them progress through a whole universe. And like I didn't know that cinematic universe. I mean, like, you know, you hear about the Marvel and the DC universes, but like I didn't know there were like cinematic universes, and it just like it changed my life. It was, you know, I don't know how else to say it. Like,
Yeah,
it changed the way I watch movies forever.
Kevin does that though with his films. When you watch somebody that makes movies and makes the movies that he wants to make,
Yeah.
that's what it makes it.
And
so much more enjoyable.
even the stuff that people crap on of Kevin's, like, and I've told Kevin this before, Jersey Girl is one of my favorite movies of all time.
I love Jersey.
Ever. And the reason that it's that way, that it is one of my favorites, it's not because it's his best work or it has a bunch of ties to his other movies, but that movie, I grew up with Carlin. And that movie showed us a side of Carlin that we never saw anywhere else in his career. His performance as Pops in that movie, you know, that hinted to Kevin's dad, and it was just incredible. It was very, very touching, and it wasn't very long after that came out that George passed away, and we never got any more of that, and never will. And that movie is extremely special because of that. Now, we have not gotten Carrie to watch Tusk yet. That's
That's
No,
like the
Tusk
only
is
one
on
I
the
haven't
list.
seen. Do we even own it? Is that the issue?
I do
I think
not
we
own
need to like
Tusk.
borrow it.
Oh,
I
I
think that's
do
like
own
the
it.
whole.
I
I
have
think
it
that's the only
signed.
reason I haven't seen it. There were so Mark asked about the clips before the Q&A. So we watched a few of them and they were awesome. I loved it. It was really fun to hear all of the audience like reciting all of the clips with it, and like when they would wait for like lines to drop, it would get real quiet, and then all of a sudden, like
Everybody would burst
like,
out laughing. Everyone's favorite moments coming up. Everybody be
Yeah.
quiet.
Yeah. No, we did watch the clips. We loved them. It was great to see the way everything progresses and the way everything comes together. And I think they did a good job of picking the clips for the movie,
Yes.
or for the Q&A from every movie, just about, except the newest ones. But it was good. What did y'all pick up at the stash?
I got a signed lunchbox. I was eyeballing it online a couple weeks ago. $20 signed by Jay and for sure Kevin, and Jay
Kevin
might.
and Jay.
Yeah, like
both of them.
$20 signed. What do you? I mean, like.
How do you? It's a no.
I almost feel like I need to like Venmo them a little extra, like, sir, you know, I think I'm stealing this. But they went out, sold out online. So of course yesterday I like snatched them off the wall as soon
As soon as you
I
saw it in the
I tried to buy two, but Daniel was like, we can't carry both of them back.
Well, we have a little backpack. So
Well,
we
are
have clothes.
Greyhound.
I would have just put my clothes. The clothes could be replaced.
Just leave them at the hotel.
Yeah, just leave it. You know, somebody might can use these. We all got some gum that Brian had signed and
No,
didn't.
Scott.
Scott, I'm
signed
sorry.
it.
I'm so sorry. That Scott had signed. We didn't even know it was signed when we bought it, so that was fun.
A nice
No.
surprise.
Yeah, it was a good surprise.
Oh, I bought a coffee cup because I collect coffee cups, so of course I had to have a
You had to have a
stash.
secret stash coffee
Yeah,
cup.
I had to. And then I got the jacket, and I missed out on some pens, but they said they would ship, so I'm gonna call next week and ask if they have the. I really specifically wanted the Jay and Silent Bob women's right pen. I'm very strongly about that. So I was really sad. I saw it, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go back out and come back in, and whenever we buy all of our stuff, I'll buy it. And they were sold out.
Yeah, they'll get more though, and most of the stuff I saw that I wanted was too big to ship in, or too big to take back on the bag anyway. So we'll call them and we'll get stuff shipped.
Oh, you got a piece of.
Yeah, I picked up
yeah.
the piece of the old Stash's carpet. I'm gonna frame
We're
it and
definitely
hang it
gonna
up.
get one of those.
Yeah,
too,
we're gonna get one.
for
I'm,
sure.
I'm gonna frame it and hang it up next to my comic book men section. I kind of have a shelf in my display case in my man cave / office that has I've got all of the signed Funkos from the show, and I'm gonna put my pass from this in there, and I'll put the Chulies gum. I also bought 2 packs of Chulies. I bought 2, and I was gonna get Scott to sign one while we were there, and when I took it out of the bag to give it to him, he had already signed it on the back, and he said he had snuck in there Friday night and signed like 2 cases
How
of each
awesome.
flavor and just put it back on the shelf. And so that was really cool. I grabbed a copy of Kevin Smith's Tough Shit. That's a book I've been wanting to read for a while. It's been on my Amazon wish list,
We're
and
gonna have that shit back too.
and you know, $20 signed in the store. That's a no-brainer. So I grabbed the book. I have a lot of autographed books, and I'll add that to my wall of those. I picked up Zach and Miri Make a Porno on Blu-ray, signed by Kevin and Jay. Again, it was reasonably priced. I have the movie on Blu-ray. This will date me a little bit, but I bought it at Blockbuster when they were going out of business, so it's not in the right case. It's in like one of their big plastic cases. So I grabbed that. I'm going to get Jeff to sign it at MegaCon next weekend as well, and throw that up with the rest of my stuff on the signed DVD, signed Blu-ray shelves. And what else did I pick up? The carpet,
I think that's-
gum. I got the book. I got an Iron Bob pen for my
Oh,
pen
yeah.
board.
That was yeah. Mark asked if we had a favorite question that was answered at the Q&A. I will let y'all answer this because I had a couple of really favorites, but I made the comment last night. Not a single person asked anything about He-Man, and I was kind of surprised. I was a little sad by it.
Yeah.
Dan, did you have a favorite question?
Favorite question. I liked the stories that Jen told about the fun times they had filming Clerks 2.
That was my absolute favorite.
Staying at the rundown place.
Yeah, stayed at
was-
the Motel
I love
8.
that.
That was
I love that. And Trevor staying, even though he lived just a few minutes
He was
away.
like, I live 10 minutes away, but I was not missing out on this.
And I still stayed there. Yeah, I mean, I imagine
That had to be so fun. It had to be so incredible to work with that crew.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Another really fun question, along the same lines. You know, Jay told a story where he was watching a movie. He didn't say it was Rosario, but yeah, he did. He did say it was Rosario, and he
that
pushed
story.
play right because they left all of their doors open, and you know, right about the time was she naked? Is that
Yeah.
what it
No,
was? Yeah.
In the movie,
Yeah, she was naked, and he like pushed play right about the time she walked in, and so like that was a hilarious story.
And then acted all surprised.
and then
Yeah.
panicked,
Like he
yeah.
got caught.
Yeah, so
that
that's
was
not
great.
That's not surprising at all. But those little behind the scenes things, and one of the things, if I had had a chance to ask Trevor anything, I would have wanted to know how it was coming into that universe, because he came in, you know, at the time they started filming Clerks 2, 10 plus years after the first one. And that core group is already friends. They were already family. They've been through all this. And, you know, my question would have been, how was it adapting to that and becoming a part of that group? And it seems like that happened almost instantly. Like he never had any growing pains there. It seemed like he was just one of the guys at that point, or guys and girls, or folks, or whatever word you prefer. But it was really cool. Really cool. And let's see, Tim Hill, Kevin's narrative of the history of the stash and how much it meant to him. That's an awesome sentiment from Kevin, because I know there was a time, it's been quite a few years ago, but there was a time that there was a question as to whether the stash was going to make it at all. This was pre-Comic Book Men days. I wasn't really privy to all the details of that, but there was a time that it was, you know, it's a business, and it has to make money. Otherwise, it's not a business, it's a liability. And it's very, very interesting to hear the story and how how that one building, that place, has brought people together for so long. All the props, everything, the remodel. I believe Ernie was involved in that, wasn't he? Me.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he anything that had to be constructed,
Yeah.
yeah, he pretty much.
Um,
Yeah, if you need to lift a Bluntmobile up to the ceiling for display, that Ernie takes care of that.
Yeah, so I mean, he did an incredible job on the new building once it moved, and it looks amazing. So
It was awesome. I guess I knew that there were props on display because I've seen pictures, but I didn't realize how many. And seeing stuff from my favorite films, because I collect movie props, and that was
We have lots.
that was really awesome. Seeing like that caliber of stuff, that was great.
And they also had, Jay had part of his collection up for sale in the stash, which was really
That was
cool
neat,
to
yeah.
see.
His
Like,
stuff in his personal
like
collection.
to see like what he collects and what So that was really interesting.
yeah, Jay's very random. He's a big collector as well, and it's neat to see everybody's stuff and see everybody. Mark had asked if we made any new friends at the event. Specifically, like by name, yeah, a couple of people that I'll remember. We also just in the fandom, it's people that are just hanging out together, and they're people that, again, that we talked to that we're going to see at MegaCon in a couple of weeks, and they said they'll be there. So I'm sure we'll run into these people again.
I think when you have a fandom like the View Askew-averse, you can't go to an event and not make friends or new friends, because everyone knows each other already anyway. And I think it's just great when you go to one of these and everyone already knows each other, and it's awesome.
Even if you haven't met these people, even if you've only interacted online or whatever, it's instant. You don't have any awkwardness or silence. Everybody's shooting the shit.
That can really go the same for the fans and for the actors and the people behind the scenes. Everyone's so chill and awesome and cool. And
Jen and Jay talked last night about, there's never been a fight for ego amongst them, and that's why they all work so well. And I feel like that trickles down into the community that they have created of fans.
absolutely.
We're not here like we're a bigger fan than you, and you're not a real fan because you don't know Kevin Smith's second birthday party theme. Like how some other celebrity fandoms are. There's not that sense of ego. There's not that sense of we're just like, hey, we all really like these like really crazy dudes, and like we're all friends, and like I've said it a few times since we've been on here, but it's an amazing opportunity to be a part of that, and especially like this is the first time I've ever been exposed to anything like that.
No, it was really neat to be able to be a part of it. It was awesome that they were willing to put that on and do the kind of Clerks reunion in conjunction with the Stash's anniversary, and offer something for the fans to be able to do that. It's a good thing, and it just continues with all the appearances coming up in the next few months. You're going to have the road show for Clerks 3, which I'm sure we will find some way to go to. Kevin usually brings that to Tampa so that he can see his mom, and we can drive to Tampa.
I'll never turn down a trip to Tampa.
Yeah, I love
going
Tampa.
to Tampa.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay Comic-Con is one that we've done before, and it's entertaining. So
Bill asked if this was a regular podcast because they're in. This is not my podcast, so I can't.
It was supposed to be regular.
Yeah, we had grand intentions of it being a weekly or at least a bi-monthly thing.
Yeah,
it just kind of spiraled out of control when we bought a sign shop where we live in Florida, and no one would have told me if you had told me how crazy busy I would be 24/7. I would have never believed you, but we work 24/7.
Yeah,
if we're not answering a phone call or an email, we're always doing something. And this whole trip, it's been constantly checking voicemails, checking email,
yes.
putting out fires. And if you need signs, if you need banners, if you need stickers, go ahead and plug your socials, because they can drop ship straight to you.
We are Instagram at signs_vital. Vital. Yes. Follow us on Instagram. Maybe this will like put a fire under me to actually post more.
We never use our social media like we should.
I told somebody I feel like I live project to project, and then like somebody like yesterday we were talking to some guys and they wanted some banners, and I was like, I swear we do really good work. I forget to take pictures, like I got to move on to the next big project, and so maybe that'll go ahead and follow us, and maybe that'll encourage me to
maybe she'll do
set my game up. But maybe this should encourage y'all to like us to really make time, and especially like now, like I feel like I actually have some input. When they did the podcast with Ming during the pandemic, I was still like an extra baby fan, So Daniel was like, just go sit in the bedroom and don't say anything, just be really quiet. And so I had to like hide out of scene,
to be fair, last time we did the podcast, I was in the toy room.
That was the time before, the last time you were on the couch. But my point is I didn't feel like I had enough knowledge or enough enough fandom to like participate, and now I feel like, and especially with the lockdowns and everything, I had so much time to watch so many things.
At 6 times at that point,
yeah. And now I've showed it to. I went to Louisiana last summer, and I had a little cousin graduating high school, and I have another little cousin, Blaine and Emily, and I showed them Clerks, and they were like hooked. And so now like Emily's been texting me all weekend. She's like, I can't believe you're in New Jersey. And so like that's exciting for me, and she'll be with us for 3 weeks this summer, so maybe we'll get her to watch some stuff and we can talk about it.
We can watch the rest of the viewers.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
This has been a trip that we've wanted to make for a long time, and
we've been talking about this for a long time. Coming to Jersey for way before I moved to Florida.
Yeah, and most of the time people I even told people I worked with, I'm flying out Friday. I got to go to New Jersey for the weekend. They're like, "What in the hell are you going to New Jersey?
Why would you?
Why would you go to New Jersey?" I'm like, "Why wouldn't I go to New Jersey?" Like they just don't understand. I'll go anywhere. It doesn't matter to me. So
my sister was a little upset that I skipped Mother's Day weekend in Louisiana because she'd invited me to come, and I was like, "Look, I will see y'all in 2 weeks." I love Mom so much. I'll be there in 2 weeks. I can't miss this.
I'll be there, but I'm not changing my plans.
Not this. Yeah, no. I already got out of MegaCon. I can't lose this. So.
And we hate that you're not going to be at MegaCon.
I am so sad.
What do we have coming up at, let's see, we got any more questions, regular podcast? Do we take part in the Kevin Smith fan club? We really haven't. Ming, was that something you got involved with way back in the day, was setting up?
No, that's a more recent thing.
Is it?
Maybe the last year or two, where Kevin does like a wake and bake private stream for people.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's awesome.
Shout outs, and then you get early access to events. I think this was part of it, where, if he's got some kind of exclusive ticketed event, people in the fan club get first dibs at it.
Oh, we need to look into that.
Yeah, we'll have to get into that, because you originally set up the View Askew Universe website, way back
message
when.
board.
Message boards.
Yeah, 1996, 26 years ago.
It's crazy to think how much has changed, because message boards used to be my primary way of communicating with the world.
Yeah. Well, it was funny. The first message board, it was pretty simple. It was text-based, but it was very interactive, and it wasn't very fancy or anything. And there've been fancier message boards and other ways to interact since. But our original message board looks exactly like Reddit does now. So,
yeah, funny.
So it's just sometimes simple is better.
Yeah, sometimes it is, and I still use Reddit quite a bit. Actually, a lot of people don't, but I like Reddit. It's a decent place. It can be toxic sometimes if you don't stay on.
And I'm there for the toxicity. I love reading all of that. What a mess. Makes me feel a little better about my life.
Absolutely. All right. Mark says we're welcome on the Panels to Pixels podcast if we want. We'll always take a guest appearance.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Crossover. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
We're always about a crossover. Our next thing we're doing is MegaCon again in 2 weeks. That's Orlando. It's got some big name guests there.
Yeah,
there are. There's some good names.
Who all do we have there? Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser's probably my number one.
Yeah, I would love to get him some stuff on.
Yeah, Giancarlo Esposito is going to be there. Gina Carano is going to be there. That one created a little bit of controversy. I don't mix politics with fandoms, so I can enjoy people's art without having to be.
You can separate
friend,
their characters from their no matter how you feel about them.
So I'm excited to see them. Ralph Macchio. I I have a Cobra Kai poster that's signed by like 9 of the cast except Ralph.
The Hobbits.
The Hobbits. I
Hobbits.
forgot I was not going to see. Okay,
They told such
now,
a great story at the Q&A
they
about
did.
the Hobbits.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I won't say it because I don't think they posted it yet. So
Yeah,
I'll wait
there's
for
a
them
pic-
to release the picture. And
There's a
we can
picture
comment.
coming.
There's
Yeah.
a picture coming.
There's a picture coming that's Clerks 2 related with the Hobbits, and it's going to be great.
The
So-
Trailer Park Boys are going to be there. Now, I've watched them since they were. I don't even remember what channel I watched them on. It was back when they were in their early seasons. A season probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah, so it should be a good con. We've got Jay, Kevin, Jeff, Brian are going to be there, so it'll be great to see them as always. Trevor's coming. So I'm really looking forward to that con. That con's always crazy, though. Like, it's...
How long? Who did y'all stand in line for so long? Like 2019, it was because
Corey
I didn't.
Feldman.
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman. Almost
I didn't
7
go.
hours in line.
7 hours. Almost the entire con we were in line for Corey Feldman. But
You gotta tell this story. Why were you in line for? I know why, but why did it take 7 hours?
Well, let me tell you
I don't think
first.
anyone takes that many smoke breaks.
Well, see, what happened was Corey Feldman vapes, and I mean, that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone if you know Corey very well. But they told him he couldn't vape in the arena. So his solution to that was about every 8.5 minutes, he went to take a vape break or a smoke break. So it took forever. That was the same convention that Ki Hui Kwan was at. He was right next to Corey because we were working on our Goonies posters.
Yeah, that was when
at
we
that
first
time.
started our Goonies autographs.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
man,
19.
that thing has been.
And now it's almost.
that is
it's
the most
practically-
traveled item during a pandemic that in
That's
the
been
world.
all over the place.
Yeah, those things are signed like 11 times now, but we've sent them. They have traveled thousands of miles to get signed at different private signings and conventions. But that was the convention that Sean Astin was there. And I had to say, Sean Astin, I think we've talked about this before. Sean Astin and Zachary Levi stayed at that convention until the very last person saw them. The convention had been closed for 2 hours, and they're still seeing people. That's just the kind of stand-up people they are.
I am so upset. I forgot that I was missing the
Yeah.
Hobbit. Like now I need to step away for a second. I forgot.
Compose yourself.
This crisis was averted by coming up here. Now it's been that.
Now we've
I can't
reignited the
fix
trigger.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, just bring an onion ring and we'll.
Yeah.
So it should be. It should be
a good show.
Yeah.
A good show.
I was still on the fence about going, but
I think we've talked him into it. Since
well,
we've
no,
been
I was.
sitting
You know,
here.
the more I think about it, if I go, it gives us a reason to do another podcast sooner.
Yeah.
We can talk about the convention.
Yeah, we can record another show. We already have a hotel room. It's not that expensive, and we can hit
The hotel-
Universal
I had
on
to
Sunday.
transfer it to Ben's name.
Yeah, because they had booked the hotel, and then they didn't know if they were going or we going. Who's going? I'm taking my daughter. She's 16,
She'll love it. Oh man.
so she should enjoy it. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun.
And then our next convention that we'll be at, it will be at Spooky in Orlando in June, like June 18th weekend. I will have my 16-year-old little cousin with us for 3 weeks, the end of May through that time. I'm gonna ship her back off home just to Louisiana that Sunday. But we'll be at Mini Spooky, so we can definitely come back and talk about that as well.
For sure.
I can't make Big Spooky, but
Were you guys there at Spooky Empire for the Elvira Funko
Yep.
Pop?
Yes,
we were
fiasco,
there.
yes.
Oh my.
the riots, the
Yeah,
Funko
there-
riots.
That was a real thing. I didn't know that cops could get called over.
That was the first con I had ever gone to,
Oh my god.
and I'm like,
Yeah, real quick, Spooky Empire Horror Convention in what city is it in?
Orlando.
Orlando, in Orlando, and they were supposed to have an exclusive Elvira Funko Pop figure. Got held up on a container coming back from China,
Yep.
so they didn't get there in time, or very few of them got over.
It was
Yeah.
just a few, like
Yeah.
one case or something.
Yeah.
Like it was very few.
Yeah, so not everyone who pre-ordered got one, and I was like, well, "What are you gonna do? They're not all here." But yeah, there was a riot of some sort.
Yeah, there were like physical altercations, and then there was also some controversy because they only made 1,000 of them, and they were not cheap. They were like $200.
yeah, they were a lot.
They came signed, but they were like $200, and they didn't make it there. And then out of the ones that did make it there, the promoters kept like 100 of them. So 1/10 of the Funkos, the event kept, and it sparked essentially a riot. There were multiple police cars and people fighting, yelling, throwing things. It was a little rough, but that is traditionally a really good con. Their pop-up event they do around Christmas, we call it Mini Spooky. Mini Spooky is a blast. It's usually 5 or 6 celebrities, a nice merch room, an artist alley, and it's very small. Real quick, you can go through it in a couple of hours. Last time we were there, Joe Bob Briggs was there.
Is that the one y'all went to that I stayed at Universal
Felissa
for?
from
I think so.
Sleepaway Camp. So it was a good time. Tim, thanks for putting this on this morning. We appreciate it. Thank you very much for listening in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate everybody listening. We're at 55 minutes. I think our 45 minutes is kind of passed up a little bit, but it's been great to be able to come here to Ming Studio and record, pick up a T-shirt, spend a little time with Ming. We see each other, we talk online, but we're all so busy, and we kind of pass like ships in the night most of the time. So it was really awesome to be able to come up here, and I really appreciate you specifically making time to hang out with us. And
I thank y'all
anytime.
for letting me
Anytime.
be on.
I mean, I love seeing you guys virtually, and you guys are sunning yourselves in the Keys.
yeah,
However, much prefer having you guys right in front of me.
Absolutely.
This
Here in
is
the
this
studio.
is really great.
we've got to get you down to the Keys. then,
Yeah,
Ming.
it's warmer down there. I can guarantee it.
I'm working on it. I almost came down as Brian Q. Quinn and Brian Johnson are frequent visitors to the Keys. They take, I don't know what you call it, a bro trip, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you want to call it. If you listen to Brian Johnson, of course, the gay jokes about me and Mike flying left and
Yeah.
right. But I don't take trips.
Vacations.
I don't take vacations with Mike.
Yeah.
They do. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Doesn't matter. I don't care. I love it. But they went down. I almost joined them at one point last year. And
Yeah,
I
you
didn't-
should. We'll have a great time.
Yeah,
We'll take
I-
the jet skis out and go and have some fun.
You have jet skis?
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have jet skis, we have boats, we have you name it. We'll go have a
We
good
got
time.
kayaks,
Yeah.
whatever you
They were
want to
telling a story like they rented a golf cart. And and Q likes to drink, and yeah, I heard
Oh, you
him-
don't say.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a lot of drunken like golf karting out there on the Keys, and I'm like, okay, sounds cool.
Yeah, Key West. You would definitely enjoy Key West. That
It's a
has
lot of
your
fun.
kind of vibe. So
For sure.
we need to put that together. We're going to make a commitment here in front of our 7 viewers. We are going to record again after MegaCon. We'll get with Ming. We'll
promise.
do a Streamlabs, and we'll get this published again. I really appreciate everybody who tuned in today, all of you who commented. Thank you for stopping by and visiting with us. We're going to eat a little bit of lunch, and then we have to catch either an Uber or the train to Newark and try to get our flight home. I've got to stay up all night and work tomorrow, and y'all work tomorrow morning, right?
Yep.
I think we committed. I think I've talked Daniel into I said maybe we can just wake up when we wake up and just open the shop a little late.
It'll be okay.
It's
just one
Keys time. It's
I mean,
Keys time
nobody
is a
down there
different
is
thing.
open when they say they're open anyway.
No.
So we're the only shop that's ever
Open
actually,
when we're supposed
yeah.
to. People are shocked when we show up on time. They're like, "Oh, I wasn't actually
Yeah,
expecting
you came. And I was like, yeah, no.
That's a real thing.
Thank you all very much for listening.
Thanks, everybody.
Yes,
Thanks.
and thank
Have
you
a
for
great
having
day.
me. And
Oh, thank you for
Yeah.
coming. Thank you for doing it with us.
thanks.
Welcome back anytime for sure.
I don't have to
man.
hide in the bedroom anymore.
No.
Oh no, come on, yeah, you don't need to be
Front and
sequestered. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know why you were in there, but I'm glad you came out.
Thanks.